Coffee, coffee, oh. Better. Good morning everyone. Isabella from Attire here. It's quite early in the morning for me, so I'm still in my morning bits and pieces. Today we are going to have a look at the natural form outfits for the day and for the evening. At the moment, actually for the night as well, because I'm wearing my pyjamas basically. I've got my nice wool wrapper with a bateau pleat, which is a garment that was worn first thing in the morning and sometimes in the afternoons for a nap, or in the afternoon or in the evening before bed when you're having a nightcap. But this is something that you'll be wearing in between changes of dresses. Something comfortable, cozy, something you can nap it, so not constricted. The waist is just gathered with a ribbon, so you can wear a corset underneath or no, up to you, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I live in it. So that's a pattern for this one, as well as the garments you will see today are going to be in the Victorian Dressmaker Volume 3 book, which has been released this autumn. So yeah, so that's my lovely wrapper with some antique lace and favourite tassels. I'm going to be a little bit indiscreet and show you my nightgown, which is an original Victorian nightgown underneath. It's a little bit rumpled because I slept in it. I mean, honestly, it's not for the video. I do sleep in these when we're at events because they're just nice, to be honest. So that's an original one, a bit rumpled. We've got some original slippers. Enjoy this. Very comfy, surprisingly warm as well, leather. And obviously you will have, for the morning, you would have a cap, or indoors you would have a cap. So excuse me for a second, I'm going to put some basic underwear on without exposing too much to the public eye. Sorry, so I'll be back in a second. Coffee, more coffee, more coffee. Thank you. Right. So, first layer, a little chemise. This one is another antique number with lovely lace. And I'm going to start with my stockings. Proper sturdy stockings. That's all right. I have a lot of things to do today. We are in Buxton, preparing for the Belle Epoque annual event. So today me and a few friends decided to go, well basically we arrived today early and we decided to go shopping to a nearby place with lots of fabric. A little bit twisted. There you go. To be honest, I don't think those stockings will need much in the way of garters, but I'm going to use my little knitted garters with a little button. Should I do the Instagrammer thing, like, you know, this look? Well, let's see. So yes, we have fabric shopping first, and then we are going to Lyme Park for lunch and some sightseeing and visiting. So there will be a lot of time spent on food. And even though my little American Duchess shoes have small heel, my feet are going to feel it. I'm not really accustomed to being on heels, even small ones. I just choose as flat shoes as possible, which is not really a fashionable thing for Victorian lady. Most of the shoes you see from the era have at least a little bit of heel. I'm just trying to be discreet here because I don't have my drawers on yet. There you go. Let's put this on. Drawers go next, mostly because I think the the pair I have on today is quite tight. So it will additionally keep the stockings on. So that's my drawers. Charming. Right, one a little bit broken at some point. No. Right, let's get us sorted. Which side is in, which side is out. Difficult to say, really. I'm going to assume this side is out. This side is it. So obviously my knickers are in a twist. One and two. Yeah, they are quite tight here. And again, you can have it underneath or over, after you. I'm going to have it under because it's much easier going to the loo. Just making sure I don't flash you anywhere. Husband is smiling happily across the room. No idea why. It is actually a little bit big. Right. Suitably bestockinged and drawed. And now the little shoes, quite old now. I might need to replace them because leather is getting quite scuffed here. But that's a tiny little heel of about, I don't know, 2 inches, maybe a little bit less. And still, my feet are not very happy. But hey, what you do for beauty and fashion twice a year or so. And I forgot my button hook, but I can live without that. Do excuse the noise if you can hear a little bit of modern noise. We are filming in a very nice apartment overlooking the Buxton's Crescent, but it means we are in the middle of town, which is less than ideal on Friday morning, which we discovered much earlier this morning when the streets were being cleaned, and despite being 2 floors up, it's still quite noisy, and there's an irritating pedestrian crossing that beeps all the time. Right, next one is a corset. This one is one I based on an extant corset from, I think, Madrid Museum. I will put a photo somewhere here. Let me unlace it a little bit. I wish I had some more of that beautiful peachy apricot-y couture. I had very, very little of that. And again, I would think if there's space in a book, everything depends on how many pages I can get before the book reaches 2 kilo and the postage goes berserk, really. I will enclose the pattern for this one as well in the book. So let us get in. It has a spoon busk. Lucas, could you come over and zoom in a bit? Sorry, I'm going to adjust my assets a bit more. I think that's about it. Is it still filming? Because I stopped seeing that. There is a mirror opposite me over the fireplace, but irritatingly only shows my face. A bit useless. I've got a very, very simple hairdo for today, because for shopping and a visit it will just be in a little bonnet. I will change it when we get for the evening. No idea how far out it is, but...
You have about 1 inch at the top and it's almost closed at the base.
Oh, right, okay.
And the mirror showing your face is a lovely thing.
Flatterer. Right, so this one is with some embroidery over the front gussets, and it's bound with synthetic whalebone, not steel but synthetic whalebone, which makes it much, much lighter. which I thought would be useful today. I mean, being June, I thought it's going to be quite warm, but we have thunderstorms and rain most of the day, but a little bit of sunshine, so maybe. Let's have a look. I haven't mounted the hook yet, forgot, but if you forget to mount a hook, an important thing, if you're bringing your laces to the front, cross them behind first. That means they are pulling the corset close, not the opposite. I've seen being done, that puts the corset edges apart. So bring it over, and you can just use the edge of the corset. You can actually go over one of the hooks here, which I might do, Ronnie, to secure it additionally. And that keeps all the knotting from the waistline. Very important for the natural form, because the bodices are much longer, so you don't want to have any unsightly things. I think that should be okay.
Looking splendid.
My next one, a petticoat. Let me get this one over. You do know this one is one of my favourite petticoats, my wedding petticoat. And it's based on a fashion plate. And I love that it buttons at the sides and you can adjust it. It has been ironed, apparently, by my trusty spouse yesterday night. It's still a little bit crumpled, but if a Victorian lady was travelling, there's only so much you can do with provided implements. Next. Natural form is all fine, so obviously it's about natural curve, natural silhouette, but sometimes you need that little bit extra, so I think I might need this one a bit more. I could have put it underneath. We'll see. Put it, stash it safely underneath. Lucas, I might still need you over there because you'll be doing bits and pieces. And my corset cover, it's somewhere here. Oh, it's on the floor. I think that's it. It shouldn't be too. Where are the buttons? Yeah, there are buttons. I shouldn't be too hot today, hopefully. It's inside out. I am being directed silently from behind the camera to do weird things. Right.
Merely to face the camera so people can see what you're doing.
I'm trying to. There are really, really tiny little loops of those buttons. So unless you have a good near sight and very dexterous fingers, it's really tricky to put them on. Could you zoom in, Lucas, to show the tiny little... I mean, this is the loop. This is the loop. Tiny. Alright, damn it. Oh, there's one more, damn it. There's also an elastic in this one, but it's an original elastic that I haven't replaced yet. So it's a little bit slack. But that's again an original thing. Now, what we have today is a summer dress. And it's a en princesse style with an underskirt, all in cotton. It's a very light cotton with lots of ruffles. And as you can see for day, it has a balayage inlaid. Balayage here is buttoned up, so you have buttons. I usually like to stitch mine to the hem very, very loosely so it stays on, but it's very easy to unpick. Buttons on the very hem, you can catch something and you can tear it, whereas stitching, if you tear it, doesn't really matter much. And I also quite like to push down my lace so that it doesn't lift and go in the opposite direction when I turn corners. But this one, lots of people are asking why you are trailing those things on the switch. Normally you would be using skirt lifters. Lucas, in my hat box there are 2 skirt lifters. Could you please bring them over?
I shall have a look.
For longer trains that you basically put up. I've already featured one of these on the other natural reform video. But for short trains like this one, it doesn't matter if it tries on the ground because you just unbutton it, chuck it into the washer and put it back again. And if it's got too tattered, you just replace it. It's with cheap cotton lace. Admittedly, you wouldn't be really walking much in an environment that was very, very, very muddy. You know, you wouldn't be treading that in a country lane. It's more likely to be used in places like museums, art galleries, things like that, where at least you have generically. So you can see it's a very short train and it will work quite nicely. Just seeing if I have any tapes here that need tidying, but I don't. I possibly should put an elastic here as well. Forgot.
There are no skirt lifters in your hat.
Okay, there's another box, a metallic one with pins and stuff. It might be there. The quest for the skirt lift is still going. That's it. And that's the top, which, as I said, is an old princess. The inspiration for this outfit comes from 2 sources: a fashion plate, when I got the front, the pleating, and a couple of extant garments that I really wanted to include this particular cut in my book. Is when you have the back panel gathered like this. I really like this feature. I thought it quite weird to start with, but I wanted to really include it. So that's my choice. And it's boned with long bones. If your bones are too short, it will wrinkle the fabric of your dress. So if your dress is skimming the hips, you need to bone it accordingly. Ask me how I know. I will explain more for the evening ones. I'm trying to get into that without disturbing inside tapes, which is tricky.
Pop into shot with your skirt lifters.
Oh yes.
On the mantle.
With skirt lifters. There have been loads and loads of designs of different skirt lifters at the time. I might need a help here as well. How?
Join in, 1 moment.
Just the pair. How?
Between there.
The opening is in front. The opening is in front.
That's right.
I'm not sure what it is.
It's folded over a bit, that's all.
Ooh. Ah. I think that's because the tape is in the wrong place. No.
Which needs to be adjusted.
It's going much lower, all the way down.
Ah, natural form and all that.
Yeah, could you do it, please?
Yes,
with
I
that?
can indeed.
I think we got the tape in the wrong place.
I'm putting it on.
Oh, that's it.
Good.
I just got it stitched by mistake.
Better.
Whew, we got there. Anyway, skirt lifters, there's loads of different designs, and basically as long as it worked, you are on a winner. So Lucas, could you demonstrate these 2 when I'm buttoning up? Lucas is already dressed up, even as a photographer of the party. So yeah, but this one is a huge one. Come closer so people can see. And it's lovely because it has a little horseshoe on it. Let me have a look. So you put your fabric here and then you slide this to lock, and a little horseshoe locks it. The other design, I'll keep on buttoning, is less fail-safe. It relies on squeeze. This is actually one that I broke, as you can see. one of the plaits here, or whatever, it's broken. So that would be just attached on a little string, and you could hook on. The huge one is just really huge. It's more of a fashion statement, I think.
Why not make a statement?
I might try it. It's great.
Attach.
I'll have some spare ribbon.
Attach, clamp, and this attaches to the skirts. Lift the skirts up.
Yeah. Right.
One skirt lifted to another.
Now with today's forecast, this is so funky. With today's forecast, I might need more than a shawl, and I might need either an umbrella or a parasol or both. You never know. But I might also need my winter jacket, considering the temperatures. Shawl might do it. No, it might not. Okay. And we are on. It is quite cute. I really like it. All the ruffles. I mean, they took hours to make, but so rewarding. So I need a bonnet. I will probably use a little bit of brooch here to keep stuff closed. The bonnet luckily sits quite well on my head, but I might use something's wrong apparently. But I think I will still use a big pin to pin it securely to the hair at the back of my head. Well, that's okay, I think. This is such a fun dress. I'm looking forward to taking some photos in the orangery. Right, I think that's it. We have a winter coat, also natural form. The pattern for this one is from my second book. So this would work just as well if it's really cold. Hopefully it's not. We just stash it. I just have a shawl, I think. Gloves. Little umbrella, little parasol, or could you pass me my umbrella, please? Or this little antique number if it rains.
Today's weather, you'll probably need.
So I think I will need all of it and just alternate as possible. So I'm going for a stroll in the conservatory and see how it works out. Take some few photos and then off fabric shopping. Very exciting. I'll see you anon. Follow me. Follow me. So, welcome again. It's just after 4 in the afternoon, after leaving this morning about 10. We shopped till we dropped, as you will see from some footage, and I'm not really very much fond of shopping unless it's fabric shopping. That's very different. That's for work. So I'm now absolutely shattered. We shopped, we went for lunch at Lyme Park, beautiful location, and we were very, very lucky with the weather. There was no need for umbrellas, and there's also no need for coats. It was quite nice actually. So we had a look around the gardens, met some goslings, not Ryan Gosling, but goslings, and visited the house. And I'm just shattered now. So in ideal life, I will be taking all of that off somehow or another. I don't even know how. And then relaxing and having a bit of a wash and a nap before going out. But I'm going to do some more filming and show you how the evening version looks like. If I can emerge from this one, that is. Alright, I think we have emerged. So it has been a long day and my feet are aching. I'm really not used to the heels, so I'm going to. But so lucky with the weather. Right, as always, the maid would be a useful addition. But it's not impossible to do it yourself. So I'm going to keep. I might have to change my chemise. I haven't thought that through really. But let us see. I will be changing to the evening version. So I definitely hope you cannot hear all that traffic from here. It's quite loud. I might be changing chemise, or I might be just too tired to do it, so I'll just show you the important bits. Let me just change the shoes at least. Oh, that's so much better. Good grief. Right. So let's stay with this for the time being. For the evening, in natural form, the dresses would have long trains. And that's my dress train. And it's quite heavy. It has a balayage already sort of stitched up everywhere that I could really. So it has a lot of lace underneath. But that means my train stays off the floor. But also that means that I might need a little bit more support for this particular dress. I haven't tried it with this dress yet. I made it for a different one. So that's a bustle case that was still being used in natural form. But as you can see, it's very much scooped in with support for the train and just gives a little bit more of oomph here. That's quite a funny little thing. Not sure how it's going to work with my dress here, but I will trial it on. I'll probably put some petticoat on first. It does have, if necessary, a little bustle improver, so that is just a little bit of a bustle pad that just buttons up here additionally. If you want a little bit more oomph. I'm not sure if I want more oomph, but let's see if I can button it up blindly. Now Lucas is back as well, partly undone, also very, very tired. It's been tiring day and we have quite a busy evening as well. So there you go, I managed to put that on. And I can wear the same petticoat I was wearing, or I can wear a petticoat with a train. Let's try this one up. Not sure if it's set up for the bustle, but it will give you some idea of the shape at least. Hopefully. Here. It's an original petticoat from the era. as you can see, it provides a little bit more support here. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm just going to keep it on.
Colour matches your stocking.
Yes, actually, yes, it does.
Beautiful.
Could you do the back,
I
Lucas?
certainly can. Excuse my state of partial undress.
Yes, it's a very relaxed wear, I would say. Just a bit. Right, let's have a look if this works with this skirt. This whole outfit was a recreation of a fashion plate. There are tapes here inside, there you go. So I might need to undo them before putting it on. I'm in. So this one was quite an interesting fashion plate to recreate, really, because what works in the drawing is very different as to what works in reality on a person. So that might be tricky. I was quite limited by the amount of fabric they had, but this has a really long train. So you can see, so the bustle actually works quite nicely on it. Just provides a little bit more shape. And you can hold up for dancing like this. I'll put a couple of videos from our ball. The top, could you please pass the top? Again, very similar to the day dress in one respect. It doesn't have a waisting, so it's a princess bodice. This one buttons all the way up. And for the ball, I made a mistake of putting, where am I? I'm here. Of putting my boning to the bodice a bit too short, and that resulted in wrinkly bodice. So I've addressed that now, so the boning is much longer. I'm not sure if you can see it. Go. So it goes past the waist and showing the hip. It's not particularly well pressed at the moment, I'll have to steam it. And it just buttons all the way up. So it's quite a convenient little dress if your maid has done a runner.
No, need a hand.
So don't need a hand at the moment, indeed. So trying to sort out this one to match the drawing was an interesting proposition, but it more or less worked to some extent. And it's reasonably fast to do it up, which is a bonus. I'm wearing wrong chemise for that. But it gives you some idea of the evening wear and day wear differences. Now, obviously, at the time you would have gowns you would be wearing for every day. You would have a house gown or two that you're wearing when you are staying at home. And in lots of places you would not be wearing the same gown for going shopping and going to the park, if you could afford that. If you couldn't afford it, then obviously you wear what you have. Oh, that's my little gown. So it's a little bit of a myth that everybody changes their clothing, 5 times a day. No, you change the clothing as many times as you need to, and as many times as you can afford to. So if you can afford to have a separate gown for visiting, for shopping, for promenading, you did. Most people didn't. So they would either change accessories, add a short or add a little jacket or change a bonnet or add more bling if you're doing visiting, but they would make use with what they had at the time. So that's my little dress with, I was planning spring colours, sort of lilac and green for lilac colours, but it looks a little bit too, I don't know, marine life somehow. And you will put your gloves on top. I would change my hair, but that's with some more bling. I'm not very blingy girl, so I don't really have much. That would be your evening wear. Possibly with a little bit more rested face than mine at the moment. I am dying for a nap. But that's my frock, and I will put a couple of photos and a short footage from the ball in Bath so you can admire it in movement. I need a nap. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions, just type in a comment. And I see you whenever I have something else to show you, which hopefully is going to be soon. Thank you for watching. Can you sit it up, please?